To handle edge cases for your backend, you can use SQL and Python. NoCodeXpress provides a scripting engine that uses Python, which can use any class library in .NET Core. That gives you a lot of extra low coding features for your backend development. To show how low coding can be used for your backend development, I'm going to use a database I have in my PC, which is related to movies. Next, you need to connect that to NoCodeXpress using our local sandbox. When you run it locally, it will listen in port 5000. To connect the local sandbox with NoCodeXpress, you need to create a new environment. Let's call it local debugger, and you need to select the type as API testing sandbox and copy paste the URL. When you have the URL, you can test whether it's working fine. It's successfully connected. And now let's create a new project that will use low coding. Let's create a new API endpoint and call it low coding with SQL and Python. You can select the new environment from the top toolbar and let's run the API endpoint. It's working. To show how to use queries, I'm going to use a pre-written query that filters actors and their movies using a series of joins. Let me copy paste it in NoCodeXpress. Let's create a new script. Let's copy paste it here. And in your endpoint, you can read the script by dragging and dropping this block and selecting the script. And you can execute the query by using the block execute query in MySQL and set the response of the API endpoint. You can also configure the connection settings. Let's use the connection settings for my database I have in my PC. Let's try it and see whether the query is getting executed. It's receiving data from the query, and let's do some slight modifications to our logic. First, let's create a new variable called actID and assign its value to 2. And let's use that actID in the script as a template. And also you need to tick on this checkbox to use templates. Let's try and see. Yes, it's getting filtered by the variable. You can also use Python scripting with your SQL. There's a block called execute Python script. Let's create a new Python script. NoCodeXpress use Python, which uses .NET standard libraries. So as you can see on the top, import CLR and system. It gets all the .NET capabilities to it. And let's assign the response of the query to query response variable. Once you have variables in your blocks, you can access those variables within your script. Here what I'm doing is that I'm creating a new field, appending first name and last name, and I'm also converting the new field's value to sentence case using Python and assigning the response to the modified data. Let's run and see whether new field is created. Oops, you need to select the script as well. As you can see, a new field is created. That's how you use low coding for the backend.